Jennifer Vatsa here from Belladonna's Botanicals, and this is another installment of Jennifer's Insights. And today I want to talk about a little bit about karmic relationships and focusing a little bit on twin flames. I think where I'm going to put my insights in here on this, because I see a lot of people romanticize especially the twin flame stuff, and karmic relationships and guilty as charged. I've done it myself a lot. But what people don't always realize, because they're like, oh my God, why isn't my soulmate like me? Or why isn't my twin flame, why aren't we together? And there's a lot of over-romanticization that goes on with this. And that was something I was very guilty of myself, until I was working, especially with the twin flame thing. And the general concept of the twin flame type of karmic relationship, when you're talking about like soulmates and stuff like that, there's various types of karmic relationships. I don't know all of them at this point, but the twin flame concept is basically that they're mirror souls, that they once were one soul and they split apart into two people, or two souls rather. So you have the twin flame dynamic, and a lot of people are like, oh my God, this is my perfect match, and the person that's made for me, and we used to be part of the same soul. And I thought this was such a beautiful concept, and like, oh my God, and until I was working with a colleague of mine a couple of years ago. I think she was doing a past life regression for me, and she was like, twin flames are really tragic. It's really, you have to think about it. If you were part of the same soul, if you were one soul, something so traumatic and awful happened that your soul shattered into two. And like, once I like really thought about it, I was like, yeah, that's, and I think it's important that if you have a twin flame, that you want to work through that karmic healing and lessons and debts that might have been incurred through that. But this most likely is not the love of your life or the person you're going to end up with. Maybe 1 out of 100 chance it might be. More likely than not, it is going to be a dramatic maelstrom of heartache and pain. Like, I know that I met my twin flame. I know who my twin flame was. And that it was never a romantic relationship, but I knew that soul energy. And it took me a long time to realize it, because I really wasn't into this as much at the time. But it was, even then I looked at this person and was like, oh my God, we would be terrible together in a relationship, because we are just like the same person in all the wrong ways. But that relationship, that friendship ending destroyed me. It's been over a decade since I talked to this person. It ended so badly. I mean, it literally broke and took part of me when that relationship ended. It was worse than my marriage ending. It was worse than people in my life who have died. It was that devastating to me, that loss, that trauma of that relationship and friendship ending. And people don't always realize this when they think of karmic relationships, and it's so easy to get lost in we were fated to be together, it's written in the stars, we're soulmates, we're twin flames and whatnot. And I'm just saying, from personal experience and that of which I know of other people, those types of relationships are hard. They take a lot out of you. And especially in the twin flame dynamic, you'll often hear of the twin flame runner and the twin flame chaser. And it's basically, it's literally, it's cat and mouse. It's you're constantly chasing after the person who's running away from you. And there's a lot of energy dynamics that can happen with that depending on the nature of that twin flame, twin soul relationship. And it's really hard to predict how it's all going to play out. You may need to learn a very specific karmic lesson in that relationship. And it's probably not going to be one that is going to last. I mean, it can last months, a couple of years, whatever, but is not going to be the be all end all of relationships in your life. And a lot of times twin flame relationships are not romantic relationships or sexual relationships or anything like that. But again, it comes back to thinking about what it would take to, violently rip a soul into two separate souls. And I was talking with someone the other day about this, where like the things that have been revealed to me through my personal gnosis, unverified personal gnosis, is that we have like a soul star we go back to lifetime after lifetime, where we kind of regenerate and come back. And I've always believed in reincarnation. That was my first belief, even as a young child. I knew I lived before. I don't know. But so we kind of cycle through this, and we would have these, come from these different soul clusters. That's where you have your soulmates, your soul tribes, and things like that. So I don't think that we always are born with a full, complete, the same soul over and over again. We may fragment or lose our soul, parts of our souls over time, or sometimes, you might have an imprint of another soul upon your soul. It's not an exact science, as they say. So I'm just getting a little off topic here, but what I'm talking about here with karmic relationships is that it's very easy to get lost in like the mystical magic and fantasy of them. Like the last relationship I was in, I had my astrologer do like a chart comparison and synastry chart or something, and it showed that this was a karmic relationship, a fated relationship, that would be one of healing. It's yes, but didn't realize I would have to be pushed off a cliff in the process in order to get to the point of healing that I'm at now. I figured out the karmic lessons that I needed to learn and the things that I needed to do and change and heal. But holy shit, I went through fucking hell that almost ended me multiple times last year. And but at the beginning, I got caught up in that. It's fated. It's written in the stars. We're destined to be together and stuff like that. And you have to really be careful to not get lost in it, because I've gotten lost in it. I know how easy it is. So that is just a little bit on the kind of, and I'm just touching the tip of the iceberg when it comes to karmic relationships. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, because I do get questions a lot about, twin flames and soulmates and especially, I talked about a little bit in the insights video I did on love spells, because a lot of people want to connect with that twin flame and feel the need to when they learn about that concept. And just be prepared, because that is a fucking running the gauntlet, a trial by fire, and you are going to come out of it not unscathed. So I'm not trying to scare you away. I'm not like the big boogeyman of the occult woo and whatnot, but I am trying to be realistic and to impart some of the hard ass lessons I've learned in life and through my magical and spiritual practices and healing practices, and impart some of that wisdom to all y'all, because it's a whole ass thing. And I've been on the path of learning more about this, and I'm more than happy to share my experience and knowledge along the way. So anyways, that is Jennifer's insights on a little bit on karmic relationships, on a little bit on twin flames. So anyways, don't forget to click like and subscribe. And if you're interested in becoming a member of the channel, click the join button. There's an intro video there with all the tiers and perks and stuff. So we'd love to have you on board.